I'd like to understand people's perceptions of why DeSantis ads are so bad. So that's the website, and a lot of people were explaining to me wrongly that the websites don't really matter because people don't pay attention to websites, and that's wrong because people do pay attention to websites. Websites are what validates a candidate, and website is also what gives that visitor the sense of community and a sense of feeling and a sense of activation because they're going there to get a couple of quick policy blurbs. They don't want to go in depth because people don't have the appetite or the pain tolerance for in-depth policies. So it gives the essential blurbs to a thing. It has it immediately activates somebody from when you sign up, from when you go onto a website to contribute. Now the point is not whether they do contribute or not. It's that it frames that narrative of being a participant, of putting skin into the game. And this is why fonts and messaging, button colors, button sizes are so important because that's the way the mind is engaged and the way the mind is activated. There's really, when you go through, when you look at the old 2012 Obama and Romney websites, you'll see how much they also engage people to participate in social media, sharing with your friend. If you go to the Gretchen Whitmer website, even now, even though she's not running, you'll see that she does, let me just make sure my volume is up, that even though she's not running, her campaign still does the same thing. Beautiful fonts, beautiful colors, beautiful messaging, beautiful buttons, beautiful use of real estate, nice big smiling picture of her and then some rage about how she wants to get MAGA or whatever it is. The point is that it activates. It takes that visitor and it converts them into an action. And that's what's important. It converts them into an action. So the websites do matter also because it allows a person to find other people that they kind of bond with. Because a politician, in many ways, is a coffee table book, right? People convene around a politician because they want to meet like-minded people. So if somebody likes Gretchen Whitmer, they want to meet other people that like Gretchen Whitmer because they'll share that sense of community and they'll share that sense of identity. And it has a lot to do with the way people perceive themselves. So remember, a person's identity is how they perceive of themselves, how they define their own identity, how they perceive of themselves. And it's also how they want other people to perceive of them. So the Gretchen Whitmer and I forget what that kid's name is, David Hogg, and then today another Democrat did ads that really appeal to a person's sense of identity. And what it does is it creates a little bit of anxiety, just enough anxiety and tension, so as to drive and a sense of participation and inclusion to drive that click through, to urge an action. And for that person who's visiting, it's a very cathartic action. It's cathartic. It's a release. So they felt tension. Now they feel like they're contributing to a solution, right?
Court. But we got to get to work now. That is why I'm launching Leaders We Deserve, an organization dedicated to getting to work on the ground in states like Florida, Texas, Arizona, Georgia, and others to help mobilize our generation to bring in the Maxwell Frosts of the world who previously worked in.
So now we have the Twitter ads. David Hobbs is brilliant. It's beautiful. I'm not particularly fond of him, but he's good looking. He's charismatic. He has that nice kind of like cute kid type of thing. Like if you were to encounter him, you would say, what a well-spoken and articulate kid. Putting aside ideological, we're talking about when you encounter somebody in a normal type of environment. So it's appealing, right? And then I've seen others from Democratic politicians that are also just really appealing. And it drives click-through. Even though I ideologically disagree with them, I kind of recognize what's occurring and I observe it and, I critique it. Of course, there's some bias that I'm going to inject into it. I'm a participant and I'm not nothing. There's nothing that's objective. But I think my characterizations of it and my observations are fair. So why are DeSantis, the VIP tickets, horrible, horrible, horrible? Because it doesn't drive an action. because VIP tickets is not a release of tension, right? If you have a sense of panic about taking away a woman's right to abortion, then the Democrats activate that person to an action, to be an activist. Because remember something, they're also appealing to the way that person's identity, the way they perceive of themselves. I'm an activist, and the way they want to be perceived, their identity. They want their identity to be perceived. That person is an activist. Right? So, what appeal does VIP tickets have? Tell me, what appeal does it have? You tell me. Somebody tell me. What frickin' appeal does it have? What action does that drive? I don't give a shit about VIP tickets. I want to kick Democrat ass, let's just say. I don't, woke is the stupidest thing. Every time I hear woke, nobody wants to hear this woke shit.
We will fight the woke in the corporations, and we will fight the woke in the halls of Congress. We will never, ever surrender to the woke mob. We are going to leave woke ideology in the dustbin of history where it belongs.
Every time you hear it, you don't want to get into that argument because obviously there's going to be things that we agree with within that kind of wokeness, right? And there's going to be things that we disagree with, and we all have so many conflicts about it because of all of its implications and complications and our own social relationships, our relationships with our family and everything like that. Nobody wants to talk about woke. It's the stupidest thing. I don't want to hear about it. I care about taxes. I care about school funding. I care about what's taught in the schools, right? If you know, I've known a lot of observant Muslims, right? And so they'll say, "I don't want my kid coming home with a rainbow flag." Now that person is not being anti-woke. They're saying, "I don't want my school infiltrating my relationship with my kid." That has nothing to do with woke. Woke is not going to appeal. Saying woke, I'm anti-woke, is not going to appeal to that person because that person's issue is not that they're anti-gay or anti-this, although that might have some bearing on it, but they don't want to feel as though their relationship with their child is being intruded upon within the school environment. So woke is stupid, right? VIP, so it's not going to drive an action, right? Because you can't march for anti-woke, right? You're never going to march for anti-woke. You're going to march for anti-guns. You're going to march to allow women to have abortions. You're going to march for allowing people to express their kind of sexual identity and their gender identity, whether you agree with it or not. I'm referring to kind of, the oppositional side, so to speak. So somebody explain to me why anybody gives a shit about VIP tickets. What the hell am I missing? Am I stupid? What action does that drive? You see it, you're like, I don't want to go to a freaking thing. What do I want to go to a VIP stupid thing for? I've got my own family. I've got my own kids. I'll watch it on TV. I've got better seats on TV, and I'll watch it with my wife, and we can kind of nudge each other and, laugh and whatever. Nobody wanted to be in the theater when Trump said, your brother lied, right? You didn't want to be in that auditorium when that was said. You wanted to be home watching it with your friends or watching it with your spouse and going, holy shit. You don't want to be in an audience, right? You miss the entire feeling of kind of engagement in it. You want to be with your friends. So nobody is going to draw. VIP tickets is idiotic. It's not going to drive an action. The other thing that I like about the David Hoggs ad, and Cernovich talked about it a lot, talked about it, quite some deal, although not specifically that one. But the other thing I like is when you click it, the Twitter itself, that tweet opens up without even clicking through. So it doesn't go to another website. It exists within that environment. It's freaking gorgeous. I'm telling you, it is gorgeous. It takes out all the friction from the thing, which of course is extremely important that you're taking out that friction. I'm not leaving the Twitter environment in any way, shape, or form. And while I'm clicking through, not only am I still in that environment, but I'm still hearing the message, and it's got consistency with the colors, it's got consistency with the messages. So what the Democrats are doing is they're taking all of their candidates and they're all A/B testing and iterating hundreds and hundreds and thousands of times to see what works.
I like my coffee dark.